Welcome, everybody, to the third episode of the Mountains of Madness podcast. I am your host, Darren. With me today is Gary.
Hello.
Shikozy.
What up?
Ben.
Hello.
Carl.
Hello.
And the man whose real name I do not know, Skippy. I don't think we actually ever finished that conversation.
No, Anthony.
Oh,
There
there
we
we
go.
scored the game. We could have run that.
Oh yeah, it's been a competition. Why do they call you? Why do they call you Skippy anyway?
Cal, how long have you known me? I'm sure I've told you the story.
Yeah, but for
Well,
the
I thought-
audience,
Right.
right?
Okay. So I moved. My mum and me moved to New Zealand in 1989. New Zealand, right? I thought I'll emphasise that. And we came back to England in 1996, where I started secondary school. But I started in year 8, and some absolute clown in my class was like, "Oh yeah, New Zealand. That's where kangaroos come from." And I was like, "No, it's a completely different country." He was like, "Why? Where are you from?" I was like, "New Zealand." The same thing, and it's just kind of stuck ever since. Just called me Skippy.
So Darren,
That was it.
Sorry, go on. Hey, stop interrupting.
No, that was it. Just called me
Okay.
Skippy. So
I was going to say that Darren was actually pretty close with his guess.
What was I? What did I
Yeah,
guess?
because you said
you said his name was
first name was Kangaroo.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Australian themed. Actually, I think what would be more accurate now is like when I think of New Zealand, I think of Lord of the Rings. So we could call you like
Gandalf.
Hobbit Boy. Okay.
yeah.
Catchy.
I say Hobbit Boy, and you're like Gandalf. I'm like, okay, we
Just
we
throw
had
him in with a legend.
very different ideas there.
Hobbit Boy just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Just
Miss
Hobbit.
Randir, the true name of Gandalf.
You know what else rolls off the tongue to Curzy? Shut up.
I'd also like to
Gandalf.
apologize.
She said you, ma'am.
I would also like to apologize to everybody. I am a little bit sick at the moment, so my voice probably sounds very nasally and irritating. It annoys myself anyway, and if I feel like if my own voice is annoying myself and I still can't stop talking, then it's probably very annoying for everybody else.
It's
So-
it's not that noticeable. To be honest.
well, I shouldn't have said anything then.
We'll cope. We're putting up with it, don't worry.
Is it one of those things that because your nose is blocked, it's like you're more aware of it in your own head, but then when you
I
actually
think it affects your whole
less
kind of like
obvious?
sinus system as well, like, and that involves your ears, so it might like change how you're hearing stuff slightly as well.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
think-
point.
The worst thing is when you've got a cold, you can't remember what it's like to feel normal.
Oh
And
my
it's
god,
like,
yeah.
Even if it's like only been a day, like, oh, what's it like to feel normal?
I know, I kind of feel the opposite.
Years.
I feel the opposite. It's like you appreciate being able to breathe. You're like, man, I had it so good yesterday when I could breathe. That was amazing.
It's like when you're out in the cold and you're on your way home, and all you can do is feel the warmth of your house, even though you're not even there. You think, yeah, I remember what it was like to be warm with a cup of tea or a hot chocolate, and you think, yeah, that'll get me through this shitty cold walk. Until I don't walk anymore.
I think there's always that moment where you wake up and you like get up and you're just going about your business and your normal routine, and then there's a moment where you're like, wait a minute, I can breathe again. And it's like,
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's
good
normal
point.
for you, you don't realize it's a problem until you actually think about it. That's what it is for me anyway. Same with like
Same.
a mouth ulcer or like something that's like temporary and it
I broke my
causes a bit
ankle
of
once.
awkwardness. You broke your
And
ankle?
I broke my ankle and tore the ligament on the outside, the cruciate ligament, I think it's called. So they did the bone and a ligament in. And it was 4.5 weeks before I could put any weight on that foot again and then walk. And the moment it happened, it was like learning to walk all over again. It's like, oh my God, this feels amazing. It's like learning a brand new skill, like you've just leveled up. +1 agility. It was amazing. Just feeling the soft carpet. Like, this carpet's the best carpet in the world? It
I
was
suppose,
incredible,
yeah. If you're gonna take anything for granted, it's your feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, so let's start off with the first topic of conversation for today. Now I'm looking at the list of possible conversation topics, and I'm like, shit, I really should have decided this beforehand. Let's go to the top of the list here. The Nintendo Switch. It's something I picked up a few weeks ago, months at this stage, and I kind of mentioned it to you guys. And I, as far as I was aware, nobody had actually known that I'd purchased one at the time. Has anyone had a chance to play a Nintendo Switch at all? And what are your
Yes.
thoughts?
I have.
I have
yes.
too, yeah, I have.
What do we
I-
think?
Well, it was surprising initially. I kind of based on just like how it looked, and I know. I think I'd seen like an ad for it, or I don't know, something about it. Displaying like how it like slides in and out of the different configurations, and it just looked a bit flimsy. It kind of just looked like it would be something that would fall apart or not be very durable. But then I got to try your one, and I was like, damn, this like feels really high quality. Like even when you have just one side of the controllers and you're using it sideways and it's really really tiny in your hand, it still feels like it's a high quality piece of hardware.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's one of those things with Nintendo. Like even looking at the Wii U, like picking up the Wii U, it felt like a toy for children. It was almost like baby's first iPad in a way, and it's just like I feel like I could just bend it and it would snap under my grip.
The thing with the Wii U is, it didn't feel like you're holding a controller. It feels like you're balancing it in your hand. It feels cheap. The Switch
Yeah.
is what the Wii U should have been.
It's a really, really
100%.
finished, polished product, and I felt like it was more impressive when you were playing the screen with the controls on the side in your hand rather than on the television.
Yeah, I think that actually makes a big difference as well. Like you said, like the finish on it. I know that's not actually what you technically meant, but like the actual finish on it as well. That kind of like matte
feels like
thing, as opposed to like Carlos saying the Wii U, that was just a really like plasticky, shiny,
It's like going
slippy
from
in your
a
hands.
cheap laptop to say a MacBook or something like that. Not
Yeah,
that MacBook
yeah,
sponsor
yeah.
us or anything, but I'll take a free one.
I'll
But
take
no,
a
I mean
free
the
MacBook.
MacBook Pro's an aluminium body.
Even playing Guitar Hero back in the day and comparing like the early guitars that they gave you with the later ones,
Yeah.
it's just that quality it goes a long way, and especially with the Wii U. Now I travel an awful lot to see my fiance in America, so using that time on 9-hour long flights to the US, using that time up was always like, well, I'll just watch whatever movie is here. And the Switch, sorry, the Switch's battery isn't incredible, but you'll get a decent 4 hours out of it, and you can always just charge it on the plane as well. So
Yeah,
just having
and
that,
there's a good
that
charge packs as
portability is
well.
so good. So good. And being able to just pull off the sides of it, set it on the flap that opens up in front of you, just the little table thing, and just playing away is so good. Especially something just like Zelda that you just start playing it and you're like, wait a minute, it's been 4 hours already.
It's great on that little screen as well. So
yeah.
fluid
See, I
and
think
nice.
it really makes a difference when you can actually have like the separate screen as well, like as opposed to playing it on. You have the option as opposed to playing it just like as a handheld. You can fully detach everything and make yourself a little controller, and it's just like a tiny little console. It's great.
Yeah, it's a smart idea.
Will you be getting Skyrim on it then, Darren?
I fucking hate Skyrim, so no way. It's like
topic
there are so many games I would love to see ported, and I'm sure Skyrim will sell well, and because of that, I'm like, yes, that's great. They'll port more things. If they ported Fallout 4, I've not played Fallout 4, but it's the perfect thing to play on a Switch. I'm not even sure if that would work very well.
No, I don't think they could. I don't think it could run it. I mean, the PS4 and the Xbox One struggle as it is.
Okay, maybe even then just go back. Give me Morrowind.
Fallout 3. I reckon GTA 5 would be a good fit. That would be pretty cool. Dark Souls. There's been rumors that From Software are working with them, and they don't know what they're working with.
There's rumor Rockstar's bringing something to the table for the Switch.
Yeah, if they release the first Red Dead Redemption for it, that would be pretty cool as well.
That would be pretty cool. But I think they'll play GTA 5.
Oh no, LA Noire, that's coming out for it, isn't it? That's Rockstar.
Oh yeah,
Is it?
LA Noire is coming out for Switch. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good game.
That's
a great game. I like that.
When I first heard about the Switch, I was like, okay, it's a handheld console, and like because we've had generations and generations of like handheld consoles, like the DS, like the Nintendo, like just I know Nintendos and the Vitas. I was a bit skeptical about it because I was like, it's gonna be just kind of smallish games like kind of Mario's and the Pokemons or whatever, especially because it was like Nintendo. But like when I realized that like all the other big titles are coming out on it, like FIFA was a big one, and like a lot of other ones, I was just like, okay, maybe I have completely underestimated it. And like all the people I've talked to in the shop as well are just like, they've absolutely, like, it's blown all their minds, and they've had it for a while. And when I tried it, I was just like, okay, no, yeah, this is a whole new level.
It's easily the best handheld, I think, and because they're getting the backing
It
from third-party developers, because it was a big page of developers, and I think the price put people off when it was first announced. But having held one, I could say actually, that's worth that. That's worth that money if you're going to come out games in there.
Seems reasonable.
I paid over retail for it because of the shortage. I paid like 400 for it.
Oh, Darren.
I wanted it. Like, I got it in my head. I was like, I really want this now. And I was like, okay, well, I could wait 2 months, or I could just buy it now.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
and I actually do not regret it at all. And honestly, the thing about it is, right, is I've played it more in its handheld form than I have on a TV screen.
Yeah,
You know?
we did when we had it. It was just it didn't feel right to play it on a TV. It was nice to have the option, but it was just so much better in your hand.
Because if I'm sitting at my monitor, I've got my PlayStation and I've got my PC there, and it's like, well, I'm obviously gonna, like, I'm a PC gamer at heart, so I'm gonna gravitate towards using one of those two. But then the fact that it's like, well, I'm feeling tired and I'd like to lie down, it's just being able to walk upstairs and sit down and play something like The Legend of fucking Zelda, which is one of the best games of the year, probably the second best Zelda game I've ever played.
Second best.
Honestly, yeah.
Being picked
Because
as the
what it
best game of all time.
what it does, right? What it does is it's Ocarina of Time. In that moment where you walk out into Hyrule Field in Ocarina and you're like, this is massive. This game world is blowing my mind. It captures that same feeling, except it's just on such a bigger scale, you know? And it's the little things in that game that really, really make it. It's just so clever, the way that
and no hand. Well, I say no hand holding. There's loads of things to discover. I only played it for a couple of hours playing Zelda, but there was just so much that I discovered that the game wasn't telling me. That I had a real sense of achievement as I was going around discovering. Oh, I can pick this. Oh, I can climb this. Oh, I can
chop down this tree and it will knock the apples down, and the apples will fall, and I can collect the apples, and I can then cut the tree up for wood, and then you put wood down beside a piece of flint and you hit it with something metal, and then it starts a fire, and suddenly you have a fire. And it's just like the little things like that are unbelievable. And you can bake food by putting it next to the fire, and you can like cook food and stuff that way. And those little things that just make the whole world feel alive. And it really brought me back to that, as I say, that Ocarina of Time moment where it seems like, you know, you've just got endless possibilities in front of you, except this one goes that step further, I think, and really delivers on it, because I guess just the technology they have now.
Yeah.
I would put it second on my list. Yeah.
What would you put first? Ocarina?
Link to the Past, I think, is my favorite.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Carl has a problem with that, but
not really. It's just that
Carl just likes making noises.
No, it's just that with the 2D ones, I always preferred Link's Awakening on the Game Boy.
Yeah, I had that.
Link's Awakening was actually probably one of the last ones I finished, with the big the fish in it. The
Windfish.
Windfish.
Spoilers.
It's not spoilers. It's a bit part of the plot.
It's also
just a synopsis on the back of the box.
It's been how many years now?
We established this. There's no time frame. It's just when people find it acceptable. There's a guy listening to this right now who's in the middle of it. Is two levels from the end. Is thinking, fuckers.
Well, I liked Link to the Past. I've played it so many times now. I am probably most on the Game Boy Advance. But it's just the combat's too shallow for me to think it's still a great game. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's quite basic. If I'm going to play a 2D one now, I'd rather play Link's Awakening. If I'm going to play a 3D one, I would say Skyward Sword is my favourite, mainly because I've not played Breath of the Wild yet.
Yeah, you need to get Switch.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword is the only, I think, main Legend of Zelda game I have not finished.
Oh, it's awesome.
Excluding the remake of Link to the Past, which, if made available for Switch, I would be all over.
What remake? Another one remake of it. There was a sequel.
Link Between Worlds, or
That's a sequel. That's a direct sequel on 3DS.
It's a sequel?
Yeah, you've got a 3DS, haven't you?
I do have a 3DS. I actually bought the Legend of Zelda version of the 3DS, and I never ever played a single game on it.
Yeah, it's a direct sequel to the SNES.
Jesus, I thought it was a remake like the Ocarina of Time one.
No.
I feel like Darren's mind has just been blown.
Oh yeah, no, I'm reeling from this.
Time to bust out the 3DS again.
You can get
everything you know
dust
has
it
been a
off.
lie.
You can get it for £15, the game.
But speaking of 3DS, what really annoys me is that Nintendo are like really adamant that the Switch is one console and the 3DS is another. And I wish they would just phase it out, but they really don't seem like they have plans. Like there's games coming out for 3DS where I'm like, I would love to play that if it was on my Switch, but there's no way I could just go back to my 3DS where like the screen resolution is that terrible. You know,
it'll just feel like
it just feels awful. Like coming from smartphones and stuff that we use every day, it just doesn't feel up to scratch like the Switch does.
I was surprised they didn't have a game card slot on the Switch. I was adamant it did. I even convinced somebody else it did. And then when we found our old 3DS games, I was trying to put it in there, thinking, where do I put this? Literally nothing.
Yeah, it seems surprising that the Switch is like it should be an emulator for the 3DSs and stuff like it.
Yeah.
I feel like
Is there
it's
like Nintendo
so
Store?
easily implemented.
How could they sell those games back to you?
Yeah, release them
exactly.
on-
Yeah.
on Switch
There's
again.
not a virtual console yet. They're saying it'll be out by the end of this year. I think I remember reading. It's fine at the moment. I'm playing Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and I probably won't have that finished by the time Super Mario Odyssey comes out. So, like, you've got a good string of games, and there is a crazy number of games coming out for Switch, guys. It's like
Yeah,
5 to
yeah, there
10
is.
a week.
Yeah,
And
no,
they're
I
all-
had a quick look at the kind of like things they're releasing the other day. It's like, man, like these games are, you know, they're not kind of what you would previously dub as kind of handheld console games, you know.
Yeah,
They're like indie games as well, and the indie developers are saying that they're selling better than they ever have on Switch as well. And it's true, because I'm less likely to sit down and play, you know, a low budget indie game when I have limited time and there's so many other things I want to play, like PUBG and FIFA. So to have that accessibility when I'm not in the house is really motivating for playing some smaller titles, and they just work so well on the Switch, you know.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like what a mobile game wants to be when it grows up, like those games when you release it on a Switch or something like that.
Yeah.
that's a great analogy. That's perfect. Yeah. When I grow up, I want to be a Switch.
But wasn't that the whole problem with the older like DSs and stuff like that, and the Nintendo U and stuff like that? A majority
Ladies and
of
gentlemen, Darren Logue,
A surprise!
my worst half.
hello everybody.
A challenger appears.
We
That
also
was
have
the
another
problem.
challenger, by the way. I'm just gonna throw that in. Our friend Killian Byrne has also joined the party.
What up?
Boom.
Hello.
Oh, I didn't
Oh.
even see that. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Killian Byrne.
Again.
How
Your intro,
bad
that's
do
how
I
important
sound?
you are.
You
Oh,
sound
too bad.
absolutely awful, Killian.
Great
It's cool.
stuff.
We'll accept you as you are.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I did mention I've been playing the Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which is this Ubisoft developed game that crosses over the Rayman Rabbids with the world of Mario.
Yeah.
And
Did you
it's
say
like
Raymond?
what do you call him?
Like it was his last name?
Rayman.
I'm Alan Raymond.
Yeah, I would call him Rayman.
Yeah, I call him Rayman. Yeah.
Rayman.
Merman.
It's like saying Batman.
Yeah.
Like-
I'm Superman. Spider-Man.
I'm
Look,
Batman.
just smush
But
all
he's-
that shit together, like.
But he's also not Rayman. Like, he doesn't shoot rays from his man parts.
No, he's
Everything's
Rayman.
Raymond now.
It's not
And he just
Raymond.
shortens it to Rayman.
Okay, well, my apologies.
Is there a comma in there, maybe?
But it's basically, this game is basically like XCOM, except with Rabbids. And
That
you've
sounds
got
pretty good.
like a cast of characters. So you've got like real Mario, real Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi. And then you've got Rabbid versions of each of them. So Rabbid Luigi,
That's good.
Rabbid Peach. And Rabbid Peach is just a rabbit with a blonde wig and a dress on. But I hate rabbits. I've always hated rabbits. I've never gotten the appeal of them. I find them to be very annoying. But in this game, not so much. They're funny sometimes, and when they're not funny, they don't bother me at all, which is really surprising.
Yeah,
It's
good,
just-
they can definitely be seen as an annoyance in some of the previous games. It's like, man, these fucking things keep like screaming at me and running around. It's like, jeez, just shut
Kind
the
of like,
Just shut up, like.
Minions.
Oh, yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say. Yeah,
It's
they're
Minions
like
syndrome, yeah.
Potato.
Okay, so I have a list of like upcoming games that's coming out on the Switch, and I'm just gonna call it of notes. Okay. First off, as we all know and love, is Rocket League. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be great on there.
Yeah,
Doom
that should be
is
good.
also coming out.
Yeah, and I actually started Doom on my PC and just never got
It's-
around to finishing it.
It's pretty good.
I was thinking about picking it up, but
Doom
it just
for the
never
Switch.
Doom, yeah, it's coming out for the Switch.
I
There's
see
a
what you mean,
tech demo.
Darren, by the lack of like what you think would be a handheld game.
Yep. Also on the list is Payday 2. Resident Evil Revelations. And last but not least, guys, Farming Simulator.
Oh, that's my one.
That fucker gets around, doesn't it?
Ew.
Straight in there, guys. Straight in there.
I don't think I've ever met anybody that's played that game. or that plays that game, because there's got to be people that just play that as their as
I
their
feel
daily
like
I definitely
driver.
admit it.
Yeah,
it's-
that's why.
you see, the thing is though, like it comes out like every year, just 2015, Farming Simulator 16. So like I feel like there's a consistent following, kind of like FIFA. So some guy runs the show like, hey guys, have you guys got the new Farming Simulator 18?
But I think about people that play that game, and I'm thinking, well, they're probably farmers that play it, right? Like that's a fair enough assumption, I think. But then
because they already
yeah,
farm.
exactly. But then you think more about it, and it's like, do they just go out farming all day, come back, and then simulate some
Farm
farming?
some more.
Maybe
there's-
if
like
they
there's
tips
commercial
on how
jet
to improve
pilots.
the crops.
Like,
They
suppose he
just-
comes
they
home
just-
from working at GameStop and just like plays a game where he's selling people video games.
GameStop
Simulator.
Simulator.
GameStop.
They just love farming so fucking much.
Oh, pretty much.
Doom on the Switch, by the way, it runs at 30 frames per second, and they've paired DOM graphics.
Yeah,
So
there's a
if
tech
Oh,
analysis
30.
video you can watch.
Mm.
But I think is it 30 undocked, and does it go up
No,
to
no,
60 at all? It's just capped.
It's 30 full on.
Hmm.
on
That's,
both.
yeah.
Well, I feel like you have to accept compromises like that when they're trying to build
yeah.
big ass.
Yeah,
that-
it'd be a good game to play that on the go.
That game though, it's so quick, and the 60 makes a difference.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
no, it
for
does,
for
it
like a
does.
first-person shooter, I would rather almost them like scale the graphics down to like really,
Oh, yeah.
really terrible, but you could just make it out and have 60 FPS just for the responsive,
Yeah.
like
Like that,
responsive feedback, and not feedback controls.
that and Titanfall 2. They're both so quick, like the quickest games I've played in the past few years. They need to be 60. I can't imagine anything else.
Yeah, it'll just be choppy otherwise.
I still haven't hit Titanfall on the PS Pro yet. Still need to try that.
Why
So,
haven't
yeah.
you?
Nintendo Switch. Any last thoughts, guys, or should we move on to another
Well,
topic?
I was just going to say one last thing, actually. When you were talking about how popular it is and the amount of games coming out, I decided to have a look at the sales figures. And apparently, in the first 26 weeks on sale, the Nintendo Switch sold 1.5 million units just in Japan.
Jeez.
And just to
Damn.
compare that, just to give you some perspective, the PS4 sold 660,000 units in Japan in the same 26
Which was a
weeks on
huge
sale.
success.
Yeah.
It's because there's guarantee of Monster Hunter and Pokemon coming to it.
Yeah.
And
Zelda
that's
and
when I will buy
Mario.
it. I will buy the Switch just to play a decent Pokemon game.
And they are doing a main Pokemon game for it as well, like a
Yeah.
main line Pokemon
Yeah,
game, which
actually, there was.
Exciting.
I was looking at the upcoming releases on the till today, and there is something called Pokemon RPG. which
Yeah,
is
that's the
in our
one.
system. Yeah, so like.
But that's a placeholder. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
it's,
it is, it
they've
is.
literally mentioned it once at E3. They're like, and sometime down the road, we'll make Pokemon.
Goes, he manages to drop in the at the tail bit there,
at the till, boys.
making sure to remind everyone I work at GameStop.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Don't
thought you
forget
were
it.
robbing the place.
Don't be racist, Logue.
I wasn't.
Too late.
They don't know your color.
I feel like my name is a pretty good indicator.
I'm blue.
Da-ba-dee-da-ba-da.
Okay, speaking of Nintendo systems, right? Have you guys the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the SNES Mini that was released?
No, but I
Yeah,
want
and
it.
yeah.
it's out of stock.
It's been absolutely sold out everywhere. Like we have a waiting list that's like 3 pages long, and there's like 50 names per page.
Why?
Because
Because I think it's what?
put me at the top of that list. Express your power.
I think it's like it's the nostalgia factor, because that's why I
Oh,
think
God,
like
yeah.
like something like Crash Bandicoot, people were like, oh my god, Crash Bandicoot's the greatest game ever. It's because like people played that game like in their childhood, and they're like, oh my god, they're like the console I had growing up.
On the
It's like
SNES?
they're doing a remake of it. Yeah, the SNES. Like no, I'm saying like Crash Bandicoot is an example. The SNES
All right,
is
I
an
thought you were going to say,
example.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can
So,
imagine a
so
shelf
people-
full of the mini consoles, can't you? You can get the mini
Yeah.
NES, the mini SNES.
And also like
onwards,
the price
upwards.
point
In
they have
theory,
for
you
that
can.
is pretty damn sweet as well. It's like 90 quid in our shop, like, so
That's
people are
not
like,
bad.
yeah, okay, I'm gonna totally get that.
How much is a Raspberry Pi?
I know, I
25
said I
quid.
just want to ask. Yeah, it's 25, and you can
I-
set it up for like 30, 40 quid.
I've heard that Nintendo are doing well. You know, the NES Mini actually sold out, and people on eBay put them for like 100 quid, 150, whatever. Nintendo
Yeah.
said they're going to make more this coming April, next April even, and they've also said that they're going to have stock of the SNES Mini all the way throughout next year as well. So there's no need to go on eBay for the scalpers and stuff like that.
Unless you're Darren and you want it now.
Didn't they cancel? Thanks. Didn't they cancel all the pre-orders for it as well at one point?
Some shops did. I think there was some like GameStop in America. I think they did it. Couldn't guarantee stock, but Nintendo have gone on record now saying it's going to be sold all throughout next year. So when that does happen, I'll probably get one, and I'll probably get the NES Mini as well. I don't need it because I can play the games by other means.
I love the term "on record."
Yeah,
you're holding Nintendo accountable.
Well, yeah,
On
they
record
said
now,
it.
Nintendo. What's his name again? Reggie. Don't fuck me, Reggie. You're on record.
The thing is with Nintendo, they're their own thing. What they can do what they want.
Yeah,
You
they
keep
can.
saying this about how cash rich they are. What did you say they had in the bank?
No, they've got billions. They're just sat on a cash reserve of billions. That's why no hostile takeover can ever happen because they've got so much money there.
It's
That's
like, we're
not always
taking
the
you over.
case,
It's
though.
like money.
Yeah,
You've activated my trap card.
Yeah, actually, now I'm taking you over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $10 billion they've got sat on. That's just spares reserves. So it's,
For a rainy day.
yeah.
All in gold Mario bars.
Just one big
Actually,
massive gold coin.
Just a gold statue of Mario.
Did you guys
Holding a gold
hear
coin.
that Atari are planning on releasing like
Oh,
Atari?
you seen the price of it? $300.
Yeah,
What's
yeah, I
this
saw that, and I was like,
The new Atari.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh my god.
but yeah, no one's going to buy that.
I have this image in my head of this company like approaching Nintendo for some corporate takeover, and the president has just stood there with a question mark block above his head, and they're like walking up towards him, and he's just jumping and punching it, and just money is just like falling out of the top of it.
And they drown in all the money.
They're just drowning in this money as they try to. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, just skip to your punchline now.
That is precisely how hostile takeover. Just letting you guys know.
Did you ever hear the rumor that Hiroshi Yamauchi, the old president before Satoru Iwata was taken over? I think it was it might have been Steve Ballmer or someone else from Microsoft. They wanted to buy Nintendo. Apparently, Hiroshi Yamauchi jumped on the table and said, "Suck on my tiny yellow balls." I'll try and find that full story. Hang on.
Is there a video?
No, it was always rumored that it happened. No one's got any
Who was
He
that
said- he
crazy
said-
fucker at Microsoft?
No, that was Steve Ballmer.
Bill Gates?
Oh my, yeah, he was a crazy fucker.
Steve
wasn't
Ballmer, the guy who just shouts developers and sweats tits off. He's like on fucking pound a cup before he goes on stage.
he? Yeah.
Guy's face.
To be fair,
Times.
who wouldn't in his position though? Like that's all the guy does. He just does loads of coke and then just gets on stage.
It's a pretty simple job description, I guess.
That's
Gives you 4 to 5.
that would be a dream job of mine. Speaking of dream jobs, though, Benjamin,
We see what you did there.
that's what we call a segue, and then Ben just disappears.
I do apologize. I do. You want to know my dream job?
I said, speaking of dream jobs,
Yeah.
segue.
I was just gonna back out and destroy the smooth transition you just created then, but yeah. So dream
Yeah.
jobs.
You're really riding my fucking ass tonight. You
Yeah,
know that?
I do
Like
apologize.
stealing my jokes and.
I'm not chasing the chair. Don't worry. It's safe. It's all yours.
Well, now that you've said it, I think we might be on the lookout.
Yeah, it's like nobody who's not doing something never feels the need to come out and say they're not doing something.
So my,
Someone comes up and goes, "I didn't kill somebody."
so my
It's
dream
like,
job.
Now I'm suspicious.
My dream job would be to sit at the head of a table of this podcast. No, I'm only kidding. My dream job, and I'm kind of on the probably the first step, I would say, is to be an actor. And every time I say that, I feel like a tit just saying it because it just feels.
It
feels like it's
would sound a lot
unattainable.
more tittish if you were like if you moved to Los Angeles and you're just like
Yeah, I was about to say
working in
that.
a bar. Like I want to be an actor.
Yeah, I want to be an actor. Well, I want to be a waiter that wants to be an
On
actor.
Hollywood Boulevard.
Without any experience whatsoever. They're just like, you doing anything about it? Nah, not really.
Yeah, no, I'm working shifts.
Saving up for my headshots.
Yeah,
And I thought that's how it happens. You just say you want to be an actor, and somebody comes around. It's like, hey, you want to be an actor? It's like, oh my god, I do.
How do you know?
I've got the contracts right here in my briefcase.
I've kind of got to the
Cigars
point
and-
where I've now spent more money than I've earned as an actor on trying to become an actor. So I don't know whether that's just the job. It feels like the job is just you go to auditions
Yeah, but
and then
I assume you need to like invest money to chase the dream.
yeah, I mean yeah,
It's not.
like
It's
a
not. It's not
constant
money
need of-
spent. It's money invested.
See,
Yeah,
I
that's the way
spend
I look at
money
it.
and I don't really invest in my future. I just spend the
Ah.
money.
That's just spending.
You
money.
enjoy your money.
I enjoy spending my money, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess spending your money to further your dream job, it's technically enjoing it. It's like
Yeah, but
future
it's like-
enjoyment.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
£120 on the train to London. I'm fucking enjoying that.
Sitting on a train like, I want to be an actor. I love spending
sitting-
this train fare.
I'm sitting on the train going, oh, this is so good. I love being an actor. This is amazing. Can I have your ticket, sir? Yeah.
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 Wait, can I use my acting skills to get
Ah,
around
is this a
this?
ticket
No,
I see
I
before
still-
me?
No, I just turn around and say, can I see your ticket, sir?
How are you? I'm the ticket inspector. What?
Alas, poor ticket inspector. I knew him well.
I'm like, why are you wearing my clothes?
So,
It never
what
goes-
is it about?
Get off of this train.
What is it about being an actor, Ben?
Well, the whole thing came about as an accident anyway. So I never had any intentions until 3 years ago when the option presented itself. And I was in a film.
Was it not
If you-
Carl that presented the option to you?
Carl did exactly present the option to me, and I thought it was a joke
Oh.
because it was a Facebook link for extras with a Cockney accent, and you can probably tell I don't have a Cockney accent.
With a Cockney accent.
But tell them why I said it, because we always joke you were a Cockney.
They always joked that I was A, ginger, Darren, ginger,
You
and
are
B,
ginger.
a Cockney, of which I'm neither. Neither.
Nah, he's
Um,
a cock.
Why do you
So-
have to say my name when you say that? It's like they always joked I was ginger,
Because
Darren.
he was making fun. And it's not
It's like
funny,
I like my coffee black, Shakozy.
Is that the
As
same?
you should.
Well, I
I
mean,
I do like my coffee Jacuzzi. I mean black. Yeah, so I never really thought anything about it until I went for this audition to be an extra, and it went really well. I had 2 recalls with the first one was with the director, and then the next one was with the producer and the director, because between the 2 of them, they choose. The producer has final say, but the director, depending on who it is, can sometimes influence it. So I met them both on the 3rd occasion, and they gave me the job of a main role. It was all very surreal because 5 minutes after that, I was down in costume talking about how my character is and all this sort of stuff. And I said, look, I'm honest. If I'm honest, I literally just got given the script. I can't even remember my character's name, let alone what he's like. And from there on, that was 2 weeks before we were starting to film, and I was on set
Plug
for
the
11
movie.
days. I'm not going to
Plug
plug
the
the
movie.
movie. I'm not going
Plug
to
the
plug the
movie.
movie.
Plug the movie.
It was a
Plug it.
it was a film called ID2 Shadwell Army, and it's a 20-year sequel to the original cult classic, which I think came out in 1995. Received positive reviews. The first one, it was held in high regard, and it was kind of the first one that started the wave of football violence and hooligan films and things like that. And The Firm came out shortly after, I believe. Was it just before? I can't remember. I think it was a remake of that as well. But the second one was the same production team and the same writers, and the team was all based in Hull or a few locals from the uni. So it was nice to film locally as well, where we are. And the film came out, and it had mixed reviews, to say the least, which I think is to be expected from some sequels. But yeah, I think it's worth checking out. If I'm honest, I took 35 people to see it in the cinema when it came out, and they all came out probably just because I was stood there and said it was a cohesive film. You could tell when the start, middle, and end was. So I thought
Well, that was
the
a
best review I ever had.
No, I genuinely liked it.
It has a bit of a deeper message than just let's kick everyone's head in, and maybe it's before its time. I don't know. I can't go too much into it really, but it's worth a look. ID2 Shadwell Army, available on Blu-ray in an Asda's bargain bucket near you.
So you did the movie,
Sponsored by
and
Asda.
it just kind of grabbed you, this idea of
The
being
11
an actor.
days on set was it was phenomenal. The team, the stuff that happens in the background, just being on set, just becoming this other person. And one thing I found really helped, because I didn't think I could act in the slightest. I just went into this audition and tried it. But the one thing that helps you are the people around you, because amongst whoever's on set that day or in the scene, they just create this false reality that everybody buys into, and you kind of lose this awkwardness and the shyness and the embarrassment. It doesn't exist. So everybody's fully engaged in this one direction, and it's brilliant. I couldn't get enough of it. The 11 days on set was amazing. It was the best 11 days of my life. So from there, I decided I'm gonna try and do this for a living.
Excluding your wedding day.
Excluding my wedding day. Well, that was only 1 day. Oh no, that was 2 weeks, wasn't it?
The best 11-day period you've ever had.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
that's
I've
awkward.
had a nice 14-day period, but 11-day period, it was this film. And then the experience afterwards, like I got to do a few interviews and things like that, with newspapers, and somebody from Universal would be emailing me on a every other daily basis, and it was surreal up until the film came out and it was received, and then from there on, it's kind of just fizzled out into the real work of finding an agent, getting headshots, putting together a show reel, doing some short films, getting more experience. But yeah, that 11 days is probably the best 11 days. And for me, it's not about fame or fortune, anything like that. Not interested. I think it would ruin me as a person. But I just want to be able to pay bills. If I can just pay my mortgage, fuel my car, and do this rather than doing a 9-to-5 office job, I would do that. Absolutely.
I guess the danger with an actor is you're kind of living movie to movie. So there could be those moments where you're living off a paycheck and trying to get a gig, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I have
That'd be
I've
dangerous
got a film coming up at
territory.
the moment, and it's unpaid, but it's experience, it's showreel footage. There's small gains to be had, but it's been a quiet year so far. Auditions have been fine, probably one a month. I don't know whether that's high or low, but the agent I've got are very good at bringing out new talent and supporting new talent, getting them into the right room to be seen. And I feel like I've had some really good auditions with certain casting agencies who hopefully might keep me on their books for future stuff. But you're right, it's one film to the next, and the money I got from this first film, which for me was a massive film. It was a film under Universal. I got front name credits. I couldn't have asked for any more as a first time actor. But from then on, it's been just gritty, hard work, auditioning, traveling, learning, researching. You just never stop learning new stuff, and you just have to keep at it. Eventually, something comes around. It's kind of out of your control. You just keep going until something happens. But I'm just going to have fun with this latest project. I'll reveal it probably in a later podcast and plug it then. But for now, it's a comedy vampire film in the vein of What We Do in the Shadows. Or What They Do in the Shadows. What We Do in the Shadows.
What we doing? You're really getting into it.
Yeah. It's a great film.
That's a great film as well, by the way.
So my character is on the I'm on the board of directors, if you like, of this vampires society, and I'm gonna go all Leslie Nielsen with it in Dracula Dead and Loving It. See if I can get away with that. Just gonna have fun with it. But yeah, it's just nice to have that option, I guess.
I don't want to put anyone else on the spot by calling them out.
Oh, I
Does
know.
anyone
exactly
else? Anyone else have
I
a dream?
know.
Okay, go for it, Logue.
Mine has always been since I was about 8 years old to be a police officer, or as we call it in Ireland, the Garda Síochána.
Fucking pig. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was going to say that. And,
Going.
yeah, and I've pretty much been taking the piss out of people because they know they don't want to be a police officer, and they're like, pig. But I've become used to it, and I've gained a few friends, I've lost a few friends because I actually want to. But it's just something I've always been drawn towards, and it's just like, yeah, if I can die, if I'm on my deathbed in 80, 90 years, fingers crossed, and be like,
What?
did
You mean 110?
Bit fucking
90
optimistic.
years as a police officer. I don't know about that.
You
But
see 90 years? What?
Yeah,
What do you
you
know
know,
that we don't?
23?
Pension better be good.
I want to
Jesus.
live a long life.
well, then police officer ain't for you.
But anyway, if I'm on my deathbed in 50, 60 years and say, did I help people? Did I protect people? And have I just helped society get on? I'll die happy. It's not about
What made you want to get into becoming a guard, or joining the guard? I don't know how you
the
refer
guards.
to them.
Honestly,
We call them the guards, yeah, because they're
guards,
the
yeah.
guard of Síochána.
Oh, the guards are here.
I don't know. It's just the way my parents raised me. The boys. The way my parents raised me was basically always look after other people and always stand up for others who are in need. And like, I wasn't a tough kid in school. I was people took the piss out of me, bullied me. But if I ever saw anybody getting
Obligatory
bullied,
sorry, carry on.
yeah, we'll put that at the end. But anyway, if anybody was being bullied in front of me, even if the other person was bigger than me, I'd always stand up and be like, say, fuck off, and direct it towards me because I knew I could take it. If I can do that as a police officer and help other people, sure, why not? Someone's got to do it. Why not me?
Are you still pursuing it now?
Yeah, I actually got through to stage 3 of 5 and was in the top 15% out of 35,000 in the country in the last go. I didn't get through.
Good.
Yeah, so I'm getting there slowly but surely, but I'll go for it again. If I don't, sure, I'll find another way to help people in the world.
Why is it that Darren Logue comes on here and he's like, my dream job would be helping people and keeping the peace and, this great noble act, and all we want to do is make fun of him? It's like the urge is everyone's like, hey, you fucking pig. And then Ben's sitting up here being like, I want to be an actor so I can feed my ego. And we're like, yep.
I never said that once.
It was a
Sounds
vibe.
about
Become famous.
In fairness,
Get me all the coke.
That's just the way the world. Like, look at in England there a while ago, the terrorist attack on the London Bridge. People are like, oh,
Which
pigs. Yeah, the one where I think it was a knife attacks. A police officer got stabbed in the leg. He got a brick into the side of the head where he went blind. And these people get abuse hurled at them from every angle. The general public, oh, they're pigs, they're this, they're that, they're that. But who do you call when you actually need help? The police.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Oh, damn! Damn!
I knew that was coming.
I was
Like we've all
muted.
got
And I was
Darren's
like,
punchlines.
unmute.
But you see
Darren
my
has left the
point.
party.
And if you actually go on YouTube and type in the interview that happened, all you can see is he just did not want to fall down, because he knew he wasn't going to get back up. And the woman that he was protecting, because she was getting stabbed as well, would be dead. He did not care about his own life. And I think that's the point of being a police officer. You're not in it for the glory. You're not in it for the money. You're in it just to help people because you want to. It's not about anything else.
The unfortunate thing about human beings is you give them an inch of power and they will
they take
use that power in any way they can just to feel like they mean something or that they have some ounce of control. It's like you're going through airport security or like you're checking in baggage and the bitch there that works there has got a shitty job of just tagging bags. No offense to anyone who tags bags in airport checkouts. She's like, you're very lucky that you're here because in 1 minute's time we'd close the gate. And I'm like, oh well, whoop-de-fucking do. Like she's just like sitting there on our big fucking high horse, like this is the one thing that I have control over, so I'm just going to be an absolute cunt about it. And I have seen that with police officers before as well. They're just like, I'm a police officer, so I can just be a bit of a dick to people for no fucking reason. I've seen, like, 2 weeks ago we were out on the sesh, which for anyone who's not Irish means we were out drinking. And we were moving from pub to pub, and there was a guy and a girl having an argument. And he was like, come here, no, it'll be fine. She like shoved him away. And these two police officers like literally appeared out of nowhere. It was like they were just like hiding in a doorway or something, waiting for trouble to happen. I just jump on this guy and like pin him up against the wall, start searching him and all this shit. And she's like, it's just my boyfriend. It's fine. And the man's like, yeah, I'm sorry, let go of me. And then they're like, are you talking back to us? And they have this guy pinned up against the wall. And we're just like, yeah, well, that's the fucking police for you. They won't listen to a conversation. They won't approach it with, like, what's going on here? How can we help? Are you okay, madam? I'm a police officer. This is how we talk.
I think
it's just like, let's just fucking assault this guy and throw him against the wall.
The trouble you've got is that even though they're police officers, these police officers are still people. And there's a lot of people out there who are just knobheads.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings, one of my favorite quotes or sayings is, I can't actually remember it's probably like everywhere, is power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And the
Lex
thing is,
Luthor.
like it's not Lex Luthor. He got it from somewhere else. It's
Oh, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
it's somewhere else. But anyway,
Aristotle, I think.
what I'm trying to say though is that like America is a big example of this. Is that people yeah, like there are people who do go into the force for good, right? But there are also people who go into the force because they're like, my life is pretty shit right now. I just want I want to be able to yield something, or I want to be able to like use force on people, or I just want to be able to do things. Do you know what I mean that other people can't?
That was
I know. It
Lord
kind of
Acton.
feels like the amount of people that would do that, like join to actively
Well,
You
no,
know,
yeah, I know,
act out their power
they're
against
not.
people would be pretty low, but
Yeah.
it could feel like a lot of people would be transformed through the actual process of it
Yeah.
to get used to abusing power and kind of come
Yeah.
to see that as
Unlimited.
Yeah, the quote was from Lord Acton, as Darren just said, to a letter.
John
to
Dahlberg
Bishop
Acton.
Mandel Creighton in 1887, and it said,
Yeah.
"Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Corrupts, absolutely.
Great men
Yeah.
are
Great
Like,
men
almost
are
always bad."
almost always bad men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for the echo there.
So like
Darren.
it is
Yeah,
it
well,
is
I'm
it
just
is
trying
it
to
is a
ruin
very true
punchlines.
slice of like a lot of things.
Like,
No, it is. It is, and I think one of the good moves from police forces now is that they have recording equipment. And I think
we don't have it over here
it's
yet.
going to benefit both
No,
sides.
but you can record a police officer.
Yeah. Like
If you pull out a
one of the
camera and
things-
record him, he cannot do anything to stop you from doing that. It's
Mm.
your right to record it. And I luckily have never had any negative run-ins with them myself, but that is
Yeah,
the
same.
first thing I'm doing is I'm recording that entire
Oh, yeah.
interaction.
like one of the things that I'm very happy about, like force or whatever. One of the things that I am very, very happy about is that the Irish police force do not carry guns.
Yeah. I say
Like,
within the next 10 to
it's a very
15 years,
small
though, they
thing.
will.
It's a very small thing, but it makes a big difference.
I think if you introduce guns on any side, guns will be on all of the sides then.
Yeah,
Just
it will.
leave
It's
guns out.
escalation.
Are we all unanimous in our opinion on guns here?
Yes.
I
think-
was until I lived in America and shot a load of guns, and now I absolutely love guns. Guns are so much fun.
No, we know guns
I-
are cool, but we wouldn't want guns readily available to the nation and the police force, would we?
I think with guns, and the issue with guns, I mean, this is going to go down a whole route
Yeah,
here.
just
But
lost the US audience now.
guns, if you have a background check and a psychological check, and you're a citizen, and you get a license, I think you should be able to carry a gun. In maybe not in public, but you should be allowed to buy a gun and have a gun in your house for sure. That's all you need. Like if you have any sort of criminal record, any sort of history of mental illness in your family, then no.
In this country,
But like, why can't I go and buy a shotgun and go out into the fucking hills of Wicklow and just start shooting some?
in this
things?
country, the
Humans.
easiest gun to get and easiest license to get is a shotgun license.
Yeah, same in Ireland. I'm pretty sure.
Well, it's mainly because they're like used for farming and like
Mm.
killing things that are just easier to kill with guns. Obviously,
buckshot.
excluding people. But, like the stuff that you need guns to kill.
The only thing my dad has ever used the gun he has for is there was this bird when I was about maybe 8 or 9. The bird just kept tapping at their goddamn window in the morning at like 5 in the morning.
Jesus Christ!
Like this went off for like 2 to 3 weeks until my dad was like, "Fuck it," and he got his gun one morning, and this is like 6 in the morning in a country village, and just went outside and shot the fucking thing. And our neighbor was going to work at the same time, and he just turned around and went back in. And his wife said he was just like white as a fucking sheet because he was like, you just don't hear gunshots from the house next door in rural Ireland. It just doesn't happen.
Just pinned the bird down with his knee on his chest and just blew his fucking brains out.
Give me a name.
I was
love that story.
I was so hoping that you were going to say like the bird was like holding your family up or bullying you or something. But the story is also quite just as good. Like
Just a
could
bird
just
being a
imagine it,
bird.
like-
Your dad's like, "Fuck this."
Yeah,
I've
there's
got
another
absolute
bird.
power.
Another bird up in the corner watching as your dad's got his knee on his chest and he looks him right in the eye and says, "Tell your friends what you've seen here."
It made him feel real good as well. Like, yeah,
He
I've
just went in and just fucked your mother.
Do you know, it'd be really weird if there was never a bird.
What? He just wanted to like shoot it off like some sort of cowboy yoke.
Yeah, maybe it was like a branch tapping on the drain. He'd lost his mind and went outside and just started shooting the shit out of a tree.
Kill the man instead.
Could that be for the next 15 years? So
Who here has actually shot guns?
I've shot
I have shot a gun.
I have shot a double barrel shotgun, revolver, a
We could be here for some
pistol,
time.
a sniper rifle, an M16,
That's one I
and
want.
a
Tank.
World War II hunting rifle.
Have you ever shot a gun at a person?
Not hunting rifle. No, I've pointed the guns accidentally at people, and they're like, "Well, what are you doing? Put the gun down." And I'm like, "There's no ammo." And they're like, "No, gun safety." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's smart."
Yeah, it's got to be habitual.
about
I shot a gun in that film I was in. Heidi
Real one?
Tushabalami. A real one. I thought it was a prop, and we had a guy come on set who's called an armorer, and he accompanies me the whole time. So in the scene where I'm shooting the gun and it pans to me, he's standing behind the tree, which is about 2 feet to my right, and he's as soon as the scene's finished and they will shout cut, he pops out from the tree, takes the gun off me, which by the way, I didn't love it. Yeah, it was all right, but I didn't want to have it on
I
me at
thought
the
it
time.
felt so
I handed
good.
it back to him. No, it was
I thought
it was cool
felt
shooting,
so
and I didn't blink when I was shooting it as well. Apparently, that's the thing. But yeah, I couldn't wait to hand it back. It just felt weird holding it, real weird.
Well, with guns, there's 3 general rules, isn't there? There's always pointed towards the ground, finger off your trigger, and
Yes.
safety on.
Yes,
They always feel
because
heavier than you
it is
expect.
scary.
it is heavy. It was really heavy. Considering there
It's
was
really heavy. It's a
I
lot
had
heavier than you expect.
because what he does is they give you. I only got shot it. I only got to shoot it once, but in the scene they just use special effect, like poppers on the walls to simulate the ricochet and the sparks. I only actually fired 1 round in every take of the scene, which is when the camera's on me physically.
I've shot at explosive targets.
And they load 2 bullets into the clip, 1 dummy round and then 1 round with the top seared cut open so that it doesn't fire. But after the first round's gone out, it doesn't then cock the weapon so that it shows it's empty. So it stops it from doing that.
Oh,
But
okay.
then it also stops you from firing another round. But yeah, I had to pretend to shoot as I was running down the street, and then had to point at the church, which is about 10 feet to their left. So I shot a church. Sorry, God.
Blasphemy.
I just want to point out that you're a shit shot in that movie.
Oh,
Shut
that's
up.
mean.
That
I
was great. That was a
enjoyed
great
it,
shot.
Yeah, no, have only shot a shotgun, I believe. Oh no, sorry, a rifle as well, like a kind of standard whatever rifle you would use for, I don't know, shooting stuff if you're a farmer over here. But yeah, like I found that I like more than the guns being like heavy. I like the ammo was heavier than I thought it would be, and like looking back at it, it's really stupid because it's made of lead. Lead is pretty fucking heavy. Like,
Yeah.
so you know, I'd say you get a handgun, you slap what 12, 15 rounds in there. Like that's gonna be pretty heavy.
Yeah. That was the one thing I noticed. It was heavy. In fact, it was so
Are
heavy.
modern
that
bullets still made of lead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean you can get different ones. I think you can get ones that are made of different materials for like armor piercing or whatever.
It's actually
so
quite
like,
funny.
completely shatters.
Just to mention rounds, there's a type of round where basically if you shoot it and it hits the target, it will make a small entry hole but a huge exit hole. You're not allowed to use them in war because they're illegal. U.S. officers are allowed to use them.
Yeah, well that's a hollow point, right?
That's
So
the point. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will make a very small puncture wound, and then the resistance that your body essentially provides just tears the bullet apart, and the shrapnel goes through you like in like different directions, just cause pretty much irreversible damage.
You're dead.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me that the military isn't allowed to use it because it will kill you. It's if you shoot it at a chest, you're dead. But a police force that's meant to protect their civilians is.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always been weird things like that with war, though. Like, you know, I mean, they banned like trench shotguns because it was like too cruel or whatever, because people would just have bits of stuff sticking
Yeah,
out
it
of
was
them.
a horrible way to die.
Yeah.
Speaking of guns
So, you
being
know-
heavier, I remember the first gun I ever held was at it was at a career convention when I was maybe 17, all in Dublin, and the Irish military were there, like showing off some things.
Oh, I think
They
I
all had
remember that.
their Steyr
remember this, yeah.
AUGs.
Hmm.
STEYR
Shot it actually.
AUG.
It's quite a good gun to shoot.
But I remember them giving it to me, and I was just like, Jesus! Like it almost like you kind of like almost like drop it. It's so heavy. I was like, that's remarkable.
You know what I found really impressive when I've watched the Keanu Reeves training video where he goes to the gun clubs and does their little assault courses that they have.
Oh yeah, I've seen these. Yeah,
Where it shoots something like 30 targets in 10 seconds. It's
yeah, just
ridiculous.
blasting them with a handgun, like.
And aiming is
Insane.
difficult, you know?
I can't imagine it's easy. I mean, you have to line up like two things with like your face, I guess, with your eyeball, and then line up those two things with something else that's in the distance while staying like perfectly still. Quite difficult.
So yeah, dream jobs.
Guns. I want to be a gun, Darren.
Yeah,
My dream
actually,
job.
my next film, I want some big driving. I want to be able to have to do an advanced driving course, stunt driving. That'd be ace. If
And
anyone's listening.
You
Imagine-
can't have
imagine
two
that'd be
dream
great.
jobs, Benjamin. Or
No, acting with stunt driving,
okay.
like drive with Ryan
Carl?
Gosling.
I have no idea
I,
what Carl would say, actually.
I think you all know, don't you? Really?
Hmm.
Porn
But
star.
the audience doesn't.
Well, I'm already that. So let's go for my
Oh God,
dream job.
I don't want to know that, Carl.
Stunt cock.
No,
Mustache fondler.
Link in description.
I want to make music for games or films.
You want to just repeat that? Sorry, Cal, because we were all
I want
talking.
to make music for games or films.
So you want to
You mean
score for
games
movies?
and films?
Yeah, games or films. Yeah.
Go on.
So I finished uni last year to music production with the intention of doing music for games or films.
How's that going for you?
Not well
What's
at
your
the
action,
moment.
what's your action items?
Just applying for jobs, but a lot of the game developers, they want you to have more coding skills that I don't actually have at the moment. So I'm trying to learn C++ at the moment. A lot of it is you can't just make music and then there you go, boys, I'm fucking going home now. You got to code it into the game itself. You need to know why the other coders are doing what they're doing, so you can put your part in there. Use a bit more input than if you do music for film.
It's dynamic sounds, isn't it? So if you're about to approach a boss, or if you trigger a fight, then the music then kicks off, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, a lot of it has got that built into the engines, like the Unity engine and the Unreal engine. That's all built into there. You can have total control over that. But
Yeah.
if they've got a custom engine that they're using, you need to use WYs, which is something else.
So whilst you're learning C++ and anything else, Unity or whatever you're doing, would it make more sense for you to start developing music for films and TV and everything
Yeah,
else?
that's another part I'm doing at the moment as well. I'm doing like my own cinematic stuff, but I need to build my portfolio a bit more. I've got some stuff on there. Might put a link in the description.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, Carl. Is like, do you have a portfolio of work that you can show?
Oh yeah. I've got a portfolio done. I just applied for a job the other day at Blizzard. I'm not very hopeful because it's Blizzard.
Yeah, but imagine if they just give you a call and they were like, "We've seen your sex tape and
that's good
we
enough
love
for
your
me."
stuff."
We've seen you, Johnson.
No, even if they got back in touch and saying we've listened to your stuff, but we don't think it's good enough, I'd still be happy with that. The fact that they even give it time of day.
What? Hang on a minute. Hang on. So if Blizzard rang you up and said, "Nah, you're a bag of shit. We ain't giving you a job," you'd be like,
Hey!
I'm like, well, yeah, fine, yeah. The fact that
It's overall win.
At least you then go
at least
away and go,
noted, yeah.
I need to do more. I need to do better. I need to do
Well,
better.
if they
You're
did
right.
that, you would
That's
ask,
what's
"What
called
can I do
turbo.
better and what do I need to improve on?"
Oh yeah.
That's good.
I've tried putting some work Carl's way and introduce them to some people and for short film stuff and projects that people do, because there is so much out there to do. The trouble is you've got to pay your dues first, if you like,
gotta
and
just
get some free work
Do the
out there.
grind.
Yeah, and then the pay job should come along. But I can vouch for the stuff Carl puts out. Some of it it's cracking. I mean, it's really really good.
I did the theme tune to this podcast. If you all want to check that out.
Well, it's at the beginning, so they would have.
Well, yeah.
Unless they've skipped past that.
Unless they're extremely impatient. They're like,
We should introduce
fuck
that
that 15 seconds at the start of the video.
that skip intro bit. Well, we'll just put it so we can skip past that 20-second bit of music Carl does.
Hey.
That's the marker we'll put on YouTube, and that's it.
So yeah, Carl, producing music for movies and video games. I think that's pretty cool. Gary?
I guess, well, like coming off my degree, which was in applied physics, and like I did quite a lot of lab work with that. It was obviously, quite applied. This is a by the name. It's a lot of practical work, and that was the main aspect of it that I enjoyed. Like the academic side, learning about quantum physics and how everything kind of works, even though it's not really intuitive. That was all extremely interesting, and as any kind of physicist should know, the kind of basic building blocks of what we got going on in the universe. But for me, it was always like research that I wanted to do. So like one of my projects was like to build a little semiconductor device and like test it with like different conditions during the building, like testing stuff. And I just thought it was great. I was working with like a team of 4, and it's just kind of like a typical small R&D lab environment. And I just think that'd be really fun for me, like something kind of relatively technical, because I just enjoy that kind of work. And I feel like if I got a job in that, it would be great. But it's notoriously difficult to get into because it's like, oh, you need 15 years experience and you need to be 7. It's like, oh god, it's so hard to get into.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, I know. Having
Yeah.
done a very similar degree to Gary, it's how we met each other in college. But yeah, having done a similar degree, I know exactly how difficult it is. And I think honestly, Gary, you would be really good for a role like that. And you
Yeah,
are
no,
very
like I
technically minded.
I know I would.
And even
It's just
speaking to you about it
getting the
in the
relevant
past, you
experience.
can see it's a passion of yours.
Would the two of you
Yeah,
work
yeah, for
together?
sure.
You ever tried that?
Well,
I mean,
we can't just be like, let's go do physics.
No, I mean, if you
It's like
Gary and
that
Darren's science company.
it's like that
Let's go.
scene at the end of Avengers where Bruce Banner and Tony Stark get in the car together and just drive off. It's like time to do some science, and they just drive off and they're
isn't that what physics is all about? Just working
being
together.
cool.
Just working. It's all about teamwork at the end of the day.
It's all about
It's like
friends.
it's like we're an ionic bond or something, and
It's insert the end of Interstellar.
Obviously, if Gary is actively pursuing it, I don't know if you are, Gary, but if you're actively pursuing that solo, maybe
Han Solo.
you would see more results in a double effort. I don't know.
So from what I've gathered, essentially the only way to do it is to go into positions that are below that. So like a lab tech,
Yeah.
somebody who does the kind of grunt work. So the researcher would be like, we need 50 copies of these done with like tiny little incremental changes in each one, so we can get a big long list of data, send that off to our data guys. They're a bunch of techs and they do all the data work and send us all back some graphs, and then we present that to all the other people. So I feel like one of the best ways is to kind of get into grunt work.
Yeah, work your way up.
And
You gotta start off somewhere. The ladder, you
work your
start
way
on
up,
the bottom, you
get
make
some
your way to the top.
experience. Yeah.
From the
So I don't know. I mean, obviously it'd be great to have some kind of science duo going. That'd be amazing. But unfortunately, I don't think it would work.
I guess personally, I had aspirations to do something in astronomy. Gary and I did very similar degrees, except mine was physics with astronomy and his was applied physics. So we were very similar in a lot of ways, and then there was a little bit of divergence where we kind of specialized in different things. So Gary was
he looked up, I looked down.
he looked yeah, that's a very good way of putting it actually. But having spent some time in actual observatories and stuff, I started to realize that I liked the idea of being an astronomer, but then hearing actual astronomers talking about their day-to-day stuff, it was like, well, maybe that's not for me. And then I kind of just stumbled into a job where I'm pretty happy. American tech company that just kind of good place to work, cool people,
Still
good
the same
amenities.
place, yeah?
Serious
Oh yeah.
benefits.
Well, like I mean, we have a bar in the office and a PlayStation for lunch breaks, and get catered lunches and stocked fridges, and
That's amazing.
Are you just at home? Was it you just work at home?
I don't wear shoes an awful lot there.
That's
There's no dress code. I show up in sweatpants and take off my shoes and like just lie on a couch and do my work.
I show up in sweaty shoes and take off my pants.
It's like I have a desk, but then I just pick up my laptop and I'm like, I'm just going to sit on this couch and lie down and do my work. So
you still work at the same place?
Yes, I've hit
Fucking
two years there now. Yeah.
Sounds like if you ever got a job at Google, you'd be disappointed. Well, this is boring.
Google would be a great place to work, but it's not a good place to start that climb that we were talking about at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, with friends of friends working there, it's not great if you're doing the grunt work for Google, but if you do kind of hop across to maybe halfway up that ladder, it's great.
Yeah, you'd imagine it'd be kind of exponentially easier to get
Mhm.
in that way.
I had
So
a look
in-
at the jobs there, and a lot of them are head of departments, managers, lead teams, and things like this. I couldn't see any jobs that were grunt jobs in there.
Yeah, there is a way to kind of get in like support teams and stuff
Mm.
and do their support pages. It's kind of where I started with my current setup.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's in terms of dream jobs. I mean, I guess I'd love to be a music producer in a perfect world and just sit around making beats and stuff and music. But then it's like, it's also just kind of one of those in theory ideas because I've never bothered to pursue any sort of education in it, you know?
Yeah, I would be similar. I'd have a lot of things that I'd,
Yeah.
like in air quotes, a dream job, but I think I would just either come to realize that it's definitely not my dream job and I was totally wrong, or it'd just be something that is just, totally
Yeah.
unrealistic. You'd have to have utterly perfect circumstances for it to happen. I mean, like I think another thing that I would love to do would be like, I don't know, professional gamer. I mean, get paid to play games sounds fantastic in theory.
Yeah, but then that's a problem is when you have a job, eventually you're going to dislike it because it's a job, right? It's what you
exactly.
have to do. And the moment that you have to do something, you stop enjoying it as much.
Yeah, I don't want it
That
to turn
actually happened
something
to me.
I thoroughly enjoy into something that's just work.
Because then
It's
you
just
won't
a
want to
chore.
play video games when you're not playing
Exactly.
video games for work. You'll lose a hobby out of it, I guess.
Darren, that actually
and I
happened to me
think
with art. Sorry to cut across you, Gary.
Working
Yeah,
at
fine.
McDonald's, it's like I used to love flipping burgers.
Yeah, no, with actual art, drawing and painting and stuff like that, and sketching. I used to paint and draw and sketch pretty much every single day since I was a kid, and I had a bright idea about 4 years ago. Hell, I'm doing all this stuff and people are really, really liking it, and screw it, I'll buy a few frames, properly finish some stuff off, and sell them. I did it for about 6, 7 months, and I was making some nice little bits of money on the side. And after that, I was just like, I don't want to draw anymore. It sucked the fun out of drawing because I was getting these commissions, and they wanted it by a certain date. And I'm just like, oh, I've got this to do and that to do and this, and it was just like, this isn't fun. This is not what I expected it to be, and it wasn't worth the money for the time that you were putting in. It's just like,
yeah, and I feel like it's definitely something you have to like whether it's like a craft or like a professional game or whatever. It's definitely something that you have to enjoy, or at least be able to not be miserable while you're doing it, because otherwise the end result would just be terrible.
yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
So I'm sorry, I was going to say, for the company I work in, they did this employee engagement study where basically you see what categories you could improve on for your employees from their perspective. And like one of the things that never scores too highly are the questions like, I am excited to come into work every day, or I enjoy my work. And it's just like they never get high. And we talk about it and we try to like analyze how we can improve the day-to-day life and how improve some of these scores. And this is the one that's just never going to be a high score, because at the end of the day, I do enjoy my job. Don't get me wrong, but I would much rather just sit at home all day and not have a job, but then never have to worry about money. But the fact is, unfortunately, you just have to get up 5 days a week and go and do a job. Even if that job is acting, there's going to be mornings where you're like, oh, I have to go do makeup for 2 hours and I have to sit in a trailer and I have to travel and have to do all these fucking interviews and people are going to like eventually you wouldn't.
There's no sick day. Yeah, there's no sick day.
And the tedious, it just becomes tedious to a point where you're just like, oh yeah, you're waiting around the cold in the winter to do like a 10-minute scene that can take 6 hours.
I think with any job, whether it's your dream job or a mundane 9-to-5 job, you'll only ever get out of it what you put into it. If you go to work thinking I really don't want to be here, then either go somewhere else or try to want to be there. Think of a reason to be there. Think of why you're going there. You can't just think I've got to get through these 8 hours.
I suppose the main reason that people would think would be just money. I need money, and that's why I'm here. And if I just had money, I wouldn't have to be here. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So I think it's it probably kind of ends up turning into that line of thought.
I think working with people you like helps because you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want to disappoint your friends because they do become your friends, you know?
Yeah,
You're like,
definitely.
well, I could just do a shitty job here, but I'm just throwing someone else under the bus, you know?
Like the job that I work now, the people that I work with, most of them are pretty fine and pretty cool, but there's certain people in there and you're just like, I wish you would get hit by a truck.
Yeah, you're never
And
going to
then,
get
but
along with anyone. Everyone.
exactly. But in my last job, I worked in a bar, and the people I worked for, they were amazing. They were sound. They were the funniest people, and the staff that they had it ranged from like 21 to 51, and we all got along. We all had banter, and it was just one of those things where you're just like, absolutely, this place is pretty damn good to work for. And
So,
it's go
yeah,
for it.
in terms of a dream job, I guess a dream job for me is one where I am excited to go in and do my job every day. I don't really care what it
Yeah,
is,
nothing
as long as
specific.
I wake up in the morning and I'm like, yeah, I have no problem getting out of bed and going and doing this job, and I enjoy my days.
Yeah, see that's why I feel
I'm
like
fine with that,
it's
whatever it is.
the one kind of thing that's been work related for me, like kind of like scientific research that I haven't actually minded doing. So even during my final year, when everything was just shit hitting the fan left, right, and center, and I'm getting like 2 hours of sleep a night, and I'm just half killing myself trying to write a
Crying
thesis.
blood.
Exactly. I would still get up early and go into and do my labs on the Thursday and Friday that we had allocated for it because it was something that was just
Enjoyable.
I know it wasn't bad. When everything else was just really shit, it was like this is good. It feels like something I could definitely do while I was feeling bad and not just feel worse.
Yeah. So, do we have Shikozi with a dream job, maybe?
I would say that
Quiet.
my dream job. Yeah, I know. I've just been kind of listening to you. It's pretty interesting hearing what you guys are saying. Mine is nothing as like grandiose as an actor or a public defender of peace.
Porn star.
But mine would be because like as you guys know me, I just love me some tech. So like if I could just literally just sit at home in my boxers and just people just send tech to me and I just review them, I'd be so happy.
You want to be Lou from Unbox Therapy?
No, I want
God,
to be
I'm not sure about
MKBHD.
that guy.
I
I'm really
want
not sure
to be
about him.
MKBHD. That's who I want to be.
Oh, okay, yeah, Marquez.
Yeah,
How about you be you?
MKDHD. Who's that?
yeah,
He's a like top tech reviewer on YouTube. I think
yeah,
he is the top one, right?
yeah. He's like the top.
People just send him shit, and he's like,
Yeah,
"This is
he
what I
just
like about it. This is what I
like
don't like
saw
about it." And
I
like
saw
Pretty
I
3
saw
million people watch his
yeah
videos.
I saw his office and it's basically like basically what was it Lou or Line? No, Linus Tech Tips. Linus went into his office to do a video with him, like a collab video with him, and basically like he had like those like drawers you guys see in like American movies, right? Like like in a garage, like a big red drawer, right? Like where they have all the tools and stuff, just
Yeah.
like different rows. Yeah. So
Known
basically
as
like
a
Snap-on.
toolbox.
It's called Snap-on. It's a
well
Snap-on
no,
toolbox.
it's not like a small toolbox. I mean like it's a proper
Oh yeah, it's the big giant ones,
yeah
right? That
yeah
are on wheels and
yeah
stuff.
yeah
Yeah.
the big giant one. And
Yeah, they're
basically he
called
had one of
Snap-ons.
those and like it had phones in them. So like he basically like pulled it top shelf and it was just like full of like new phones like like the LGs, like the Nexuses, the OnePlus, the Samsungs, and I was just like, oh my god, I
I
have
see who
such a
you mean,
hard
by
on
the
now.
way, Marcus Brownlee.
Yeah,
I
I have
stumbled on one of his videos because I've been doing a lot of videos on G at the minute. But
yeah
I've watched one of his videos where he was just live streaming himself tick
yeah
over to 5 million subscribers, and it was
yeah.
in
And
his
it was
in
thing
his
so
massive
his
office. It's ridiculous.
yeah
It's
It's a
ridiculous.
feedback
Because,
loop at that point.
his like his videos are so, but like it's just like the fact he gets all this stuff in. He did a video on like Red, the camera makers, the
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically, he did a video on their new prototype phone, like the hydrogen, I think it's called. Basically, this is a phone that costs like I think or something, because apparently it's meant to be like
How much?
modular for. It costs like over $1,000,
Oh, dog.
probably like easily into the two exact price. I think it's called like the red hydrogen.
Say that again, sorry. Shikozi, the two what?
It's called the Red Hydrogen, right? And it's basically a phone that's developed by Red, who are the camera
Yeah, but
makers.
you said it slips into the something range of
Oh,
price. So
like
two
it
something.
easily slips into the 2,000 range. Like it could be
Okay,
like
2000.
1,800.
Why?
But like it's just like they sent him this phone, like they sent him the phone, and like a working prototype, and they also sent him like a finalized kind of like finalized build. So it doesn't actually work, but it's what they're aiming for with the finalized build. And I was just like, oh my god, if I
So,
could.
so the question is,
What?
then, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you just
Oh
starting to
no, see
review
things.
tech? Because you've
I'll be
got tech now. Just start
well,
reviewing
yeah,
and
no,
videoing it.
I have tech now, but the thing is to be able to do the tech reviewing stuff, you need to have more updated tech. So which is why I'm like, okay, so I need to have money to buy the brand new tech and then
Yeah.
I start doing reviews.
Exactly. It's one of those things where you start to buy tech and you review it, and then you get to a certain popularity level, and then you start
Mhm.
getting all the tech for free.
Well, no,
So
well,
as you
like, I'm
start to
not.
make more money making your videos, you spend less money on tech because people are just like,
Yeah,
review this.
yeah, but like as it stands right now, I need to basically have money to buy the new tech to make the videos.
Would you not like just review like the tech that you have now? Like, this is what I thought was good. This is what.
Yeah, but like you see things that like
bad.
no one is gonna like watch a tech video for the OnePlus 3 now. Do you get me? Stuff like
Yeah,
that. That's what I'm saying.
there's
Like,
a massive
yeah,
saturation of
yeah,
people that see people like MKBHD and all those people,
yeah,
and they're like, I can do that. I've got a camera, I've got a
yeah.
phone, and a
So like
computer and a
if
laptop. I can review all that stuff.
yeah, to be able
And
to
there's like millions of videos
yeah,
with 4 views of people reviewing their phone and
yeah.
stuff. Like
To be able to keep up with the
you probably
trend, you
don't get
need to be able to basically like let's say for like the new LG phone, what's it called again?
LG V30.
B30. Like I need to basically like be like have the phone on release
Get a
and
review unit.
review it.
Can't you
Yeah,
apply
and
for
basically
it? Can't
review.
you apply for a
Well,
review
no,
unit?
things like you can apply for review units, but like the big companies won't give you review units, and even the small companies until you have
A
like
certain amount of
a certain amount
views
of
per
views
video.
and a
Yeah.
certain amount of videos. So like
You
that's the
need to
thing.
be
So,
someone.
Yeah.
so basically like that's why basically I'm basically planning on saving up like a heap of cash, and then basically for like the next one or the next kind of like big tech event, I'm planning on just basically just like getting a load of tech and then just review. But I do have like I did make a channel a while ago that I was going to use, but then I realized that like all my outdated. So
How many
like
of those videos did you have your boxes on?
sorry,
Like just your boxes? Because I think that should be your unit. Yes,
that should be
that's
my
a
gimmick.
USP. Your
Yeah.
USP. How many of those tech
Awesome.
videos out there have a Chikozy just
Just
in
get
his
your
box?
just hang down, like, but like do
Just
it,
hang down.
do it as a silhouette. So at the
Just
end
do
of
an
every video, you get up and you get up and you like walk away from your computer, but it's just silhouetted, so you can just see your dog hanging and swinging between your legs.
I
Because
don't
it's
think the
silhouetted, you
rules
get
of
away with it.
YouTube would allow would allow that.
It
But it's
would
not
because
Nah,
it's
you'll just get demonetized.
it's
It's fine.
arty. It's just arty.
yeah, it's art.
Yeah.
And also it's not my actual dog. So I can technically get away with it, right?
You could
Use a
you
white
could
one.
do you could
Proper
Jesus
stunt
Christ.
cock.
cars available. His rates are good. You could do you could get down to those expo shows where they do tech reveals and stuff like that. You could do that.
Just
Yeah, I was
with the
carry
thinking
around
presentation.
a
about
little
that.
camera on a stabilizer.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I was thinking about that. Like actually what companies though you're talking to right now is I told you guys my friend Mohammed, he got like an electronic longboard, right? And they're basically like
What
a
is that?
startup company. It's a longboard that's electric.
I've seen those. I've seen those.
It has a motor on it. Basically, like the most
okay.
well known is boosted boards, and basically it's been popularized by Casey Neistat, and basically
Yeah.
just like rolls around just like I don't need to push because I'm a bomber. But it's actually pretty fun. Like the board goes like I don't know 40 kilometers per hour easily. You know,
I'm only going to continue to listen to this review, Chikozy, if you take all your clothes off mine, except your boxes.
Hang the dong.
Yeah.
Hang the dong.
stunt
But
cock.
classily. I don't want no regular.
Keep your clothes on, Gary.
Yeah, like avant-garde.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
Oh,
Don't worry,
sorry.
they're staying on.
But what's called again? So basically, I've been talking to the company, and they're actually on company, and I think they're on what's on AliExpress. But like I've been talking to him, and he bought the board for like I think like 200-300 euros or whatever.
Whoa.
And they were saying though that they were looking for people to kind of like it is cheap because boosted boards
Is
go
it?
into them. Like boosted
cheap.
board is like 800, 1,000 easily.
Fuck. Just buy
But
a
like-
bike.
Ben goes, Jesus, when it's like
Yeah.
2,000 for a phone, and I'm like, I would pay 2,000 for a phone, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm refusing to pay 1,000 for a phone. Fuck Samsung and their
Yeah.
I would do it without hesitation, honestly.
Yeah, a thousand feels like just a bit of a point, like a
Yeah.
price point that just has been crossed, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just not comfortable with it for phones.
For instance,
Yeah.
the iPhone 10, that monthly contract is being offered out at £74 a month, with
And what-
£200 down.
Yeah.
Which
But
is
I would
ridiculous.
buy an €800 pair of sneakers, no problem. So
Really?
Where is there even the option for 800?
So
Yeah.
a phone for 1,000 seems fine. We
I'm
can do
constantly-
Yeah, fair
we can
enough.
do a topic on sneakers sometime, and I can educate you. But let's
I
not
like
get
it.
into
But
it.
but yeah, so like with the
I
boys,
add on here as well.
I've been talking to the company, and then basically they're just saying that like they don't have view units out right now, but when they do, they will contact me. So like I'm planning on that will probably be like my debut. And also I was talking to Logue as well about his PC building, and I was saying
yes.
that like I want to have a massive hand to play because I also want to
Yes.
use him building the PC and like basically him unboxing everything as part of my video.
I think that'd be quite good. Full
Yeah.
unboxing and building. Yeah. Good
Can
stuff.
I
For sure.
attend that recording and just hang dong in the background of one of the scenes,
Arms in the air.
Somebody
Just come on,
needs to
y'all
hang
can come to the
down.
house.
So,
but like
What?
in an arty way, like just my silhouette.
yeah,
No,
of
we
course,
can
of
get
course.
Logue to do it because no one will see it anyway.
Hey. I'm well proportioned.
You must be a really small man.
But yeah, actually, Shikosi, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you know where I live. In January when we send away for all the stuff, come on over. We'll do a full like unboxing and building time lapse.
Excellent.
I think you should just build him
How
like
will
a
your
Pentium 2 with 16 meg of RAM,
No, my budget is about 12 to 1,500.
£13.
12
how
to
will
13
how will your
kid.
dad feel about Darren hanging dong in the background? You'll need to work that out with him beforehand.
From
Oh no,
game
his dad is completely okay. We've all been over it. And
It'll be familiar territory.
Hanging down.
Just to go completely off topic.
No, let's not go completely off topic here.
Just one small
Someone
story.
wants the chair. Someone wants the chair.
My dad was so worried about me meeting you that he came out to the front gate and looked at Jacozy and Killian, and then walked away when Killian goes, "Get in, loser! We're going shopping." I was like, "What? My God!" And he said it to me. He was like, "Okay, yeah, bye."
So,
Little
Carl's
little
gonna
needs
cut that
me.
So wait, I'm confused. Killian said get in loser, and your dad was like, yeah, he is a loser.
No,
his
that
dad
was
was
out. Loser.
my Ian and Jacozy came to my house and parked at the end of my road, but Killian was kind of doing a running man dance in the car and looked over at me while continuously running in the car and said, "Get in, loser, we're going shopping." And my dad just kind of looked down and walked away and was like, "Yeah, he's gonna be okay."
Oh, okay. I thought it was more like, yeah, someone's taking care of him for me.
I thought your dad was gonna fight someone or.
So let's get back on topic now. Killian, do you have a dream job you'd like to describe to us?
No blowjobs.
My dream job is a hand job.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I pretty much just like playing music.
Professional sleeper.
I don't know. Professional sleeper, yeah. That too.
Because you
Wait,
do
but I
it
kinda
so
train like-
much. Because Killian just falls asleep all the time. It's just like it's his thing.
It's his move.
There's been so many times I've been over his
Trademark
house,
move.
and like we're just talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go to sleep at like whatever." Like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep like real quick. Just wake me up at like 6." And like 6 o'clock, the alarm goes off. And he's just like, "I'm just gonna turn that back off. I'm gonna go back to sleep."
Wake me up at 7.
Oh, so good.
That's funny.
To play music, you mean piano?
Piano or guitar?
He's very good at playing piano.
I've heard.
So would you want to be like a session musician or like part of a band or what do you
yeah,
think?
exactly. Expand, Killian. The stage
I
is
don't really
yours.
know. I haven't really thought about it. It's just
Well, like I know
fun
for
thing
me,
to
I mean,
play, but it might. Sorry, go on. Go ahead, there.
okay, sorry. So I know for me, when I initially had aspirations of becoming a musician when I was learning how to play the drums, I was like, a session drummer would be an awesome job because you can just chill in a room and drum for all these different
Play
people,
some
and
4/4
then
beats.
yeah, exactly, just chill on the 4/4, making making some money, and then I realized that it's like, no, that would probably be terrible because I would want to be way more creative than any session musician. Well, unless they get really lucky and get like a great band coming in and they can start going ham on whatever they're playing. But I realized that it would kind of, I don't know, limit me or what I would want to do. I don't know about you.
It depends what you wanted from it, I guess. If you wanted to just play music, regardless of what it was, if you didn't want to play your
Yeah,
own music.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So you get a call from Tool. Danny Carey's sick this week. You want to fill in?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, I'd back
I'm
out.
gonna stick with the 4/4s on these.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like the things you guys said also come across being, it could just you could just hate it after a while, and then there goes one of your hobbies.
So what you're saying is have 2 dream jobs. So when the first one gets boring, you move on.
Yeah, switch and keep alternating.
Yeah. So you could be a session pianist, and then a session guitarist, and then a session pianist again. I could see you doing that.
Yeah.
Do you know what's pretty interesting? I can't remember what band it was, but they were saying that that music was never their job. It was like a side thing. Like they had their real jobs that they just go back to and they just do it.
It's very common.
Is that the
Yeah.
Beatles? Were they all
No, it wasn't the Beatles. There's another metal band. Like my brain is saying Trivium, but I don't think
But
it's
they did the documentary on Anvil,
Yeah,
who had that one song, Metal and Metal.
yeah.
And they were pretty famous for a bit. And it's like a documentary about how shitty their lives are, and they're just like working normal jobs and still playing.
Yeah.
But that's very common.
Do you know Dan Lasac? He's what Scrubby's pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Dan
Yeah.
Lasac. I met him. He gave me a hug.
I was talking to him on Twitter about it, and he actually said he works in coffee shops in between recording.
Who is
Yeah.
Dan Lasac?
He's a producer.
Producer.
Producer, yeah.
I met him and Scroobius Pip.
Oh.
Gary,
Wow.
you did as well.
Scroobius
Yeah,
Citizen
that
guy.
concert was a very good concert.
Yeah, it was wicked. It was on Valentine's Day as well.
Yeah, it was
That's gotta be
very
surreal,
romantic.
isn't it? You just finished the
Did you
gig
guys
or
go
you
on a
just finished
date?
the session.
I was just thinking the same thing.
What?
I said, did you guys go on a date?
No?
I mean, technically, I guess.
Well, we didn't fuck.
Aww.
That's
It's not a date unless you fuck. Okay.
Oh, well, no, then I guess.
Is that-
Laying down them
that could be
Feels
that
bad,
could be a
man.
conversation. Is it a date if you don't fuck?
No.
I think it probably
Yeah.
is.
Do we have Skippy?
No, it's
Is
just
Skippy here?
glorified hand holding.
Does Skippy want to talk about a dream job?
Game level designer.
So, like maps in kind of competitive games or like story mode games.
More RPG style games.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I used to. I learned how to use the Neverwinter Nights map like software. And I've learned to use the Neverwinter Nights 2. And when I purchase a legitimate copy of Divinity Original Sin 2, I shall be learning how to use the modding tools for that as well.
Well,
Actually, I've seen... Go on, Carl.
there's a guy I work with. He's been playing it, and he's going to map out all of Baldur's Gate 2 in Divinity Original Sin
Nice.
2. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I've seen some of Skippy's stuff actually in Fallout and Minecraft, and I'd say you've probably got a talent for that actually, Skip, because your town's in. I think I'm really good when I build a little wooden shed in Fallout 4 and put 3 beds in it and a fucking side room, thinking, yeah, look at this, and then you'd rock up with your fucking neon lights and fucking guards and gates and 2 levels and 3-story designs and light systems. I'm like, what is this wizardry?
Yeah, I'll upload some screenshots of a Fallout. I mean, just using Fallout 4 on the PC with a few mods. I'll upload some screenshots of like a town I made in a little what's it called, Starlight Driving or whatever it is. Yeah, I'll upload some pictures of that. I made a town with shops and windows and all sorts. It's great.
Why don't you go on Udemy and get some of the courses downloaded?
On what? You have to send me the link to that.
Yeah, Udemy. That's Udemy.
They don't sponsor us.
But they might do.
Sponsor Cathal.
Yeah, I'm just gonna destroy my little town in Fallout 4 now. What's the fucking point? Put it in the bin.
I'll come and build it for you, Ben. Don't worry.
Yeah, there we go. I'll pay you. I'll pay you what, like £10? See what you can get done in a few hours.
Just a bottle of wine will do, Ben.
I see.
I'm
He's
just
the
imagining.
ghost builder.
I'm just imagining Ben's towns like beside Skips and like Ben's like like one of those like hick towns, like one old ass petrol station and like, people like just tumbleweed going by, and then like off in the horizon you can see like a sprawling metropolis with like hover cars and shit. It's called
Skippy's got like Vegas.
yeah, pretty much like.
Are you a god?
No.
Then die. Sorry. I don't. That came to my head, and I decided I was going to say it, even though it didn't really fit the context very well.
I liked it. I think it was pretty good.
Okay, acceptable.
That's 2 Ghostbusters references today.
You've done well today, Darren.
We have knocked it out of the fucking park, lads. Okay, and on that note, thank you everyone for joining the 3rd podcast. Your feedback is always welcome, other than about how bad our microphones are, because we are painfully aware of that.
We definitely know.
We're getting there.
And prepare yourselves for our Patron Saints game next week. Thanks, everybody. Take it easy.
Thanks, Dr. Nick.
Isn't your catchphrase like "stay salty"?
Stay salty. I don't know. Stay salty, everybody. Is that my thing? Is that my thing now? Is that my thing?
Yeah.
Stay salty.
Well,
you
Stay
shit.
salty.
Stay salty.
Hello,
Stay
you.
salty.
Smell you later. Meh.
What are
Yeah.
you buying?
What are you
What
selling?
are you selling?
I got that for you.
I'll buy it at a
Ah,
high price.
I'll buy it at a high price. Yeah, come back anytime.
I don't know why I hang out with you guys.
And cut.
Crazy bastards.